Welcome to this week's edition of FCNS Week in Review, where we recap all major release activities for the past week. I am your presenter, Rahim Berry. Highlights for the week of March 5th to 11th of 2021 includes Department of Gender Affairs awards excellence of females on International Women's Day. Minister Byron Nisbet highlights significant role of women in leading the Federation. Ministry of National Security to implement social intervention programs to strengthen justice systems. In celebration of International Women's Day on March 8, 5 women were recognized for their contribution to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. These women included Janelle Williams for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Dale Kelly for Community Outreach, Michelle Christmas Jacobs for Communication, Eunice Brown for Healthcare, and Chalessa Rollins, who was the Prime Minister's awardee. International Women's Day was celebrated under the theme, Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. Speaking at the ceremony, Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister with Responsibility for Social Development and Gender Affairs, said that the theme honors women and girls for their efforts in shaping an equitable future and also honors them for their push to help the world recover from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Women, perhaps even more so than men, are standing in the forefront of the crisis as healthcare workers, caregivers, community organizers, and among other things, as innovators. My ministry, and indeed the entire government of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are proud of the women and girls in our federation, and especially now, of those who are putting the needs of this country ahead of their own.
Chanel Charles, Senior Gender Officer, who also made remarks at the ceremony, said that the theme is also aligned with the priority theme of the 65th session of the Commission on the Status of Women, which speaks to women's full and effective participation and decision-making in public life, as well as the achieving gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. Appearing on a virtual forum series, Leadership Matters, on March 9, 2021, Minister of Health, the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, highlighted the significant role that women play in leading the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Honorable Byron Nisbet said that the women should have a future that is sustainable, peaceful, and with equal rights and opportunities for all. She said that every day amazing work is being done by powerful women across St. Kitts and Nevis and within her own constituency number 3, from opening new businesses to leading the communities.
While we recognize the women in leadership across the world on International Women's Day, we must also remember the women in our own communities that are achieving an equal future here in St. Kitts and Nevis, some of whom are sitting here this evening. Our Chief Medical Officer is a woman. Our Head of Finance, our Financial Secretary, is a woman. Our Cabinet Secretary is a woman. Our nurses, our frontline workers, our carers, all these occupations are made up predominantly of women.
The minister stated that while the Federation has made a start on making a more equal society where everyone has the opportunity to succeed, there is still much work to be done. Ministry of National Security is focused on implementing several social intervention programs aimed at protecting citizens and strengthening the justice system in St. Kitts and Nevis, said officials within the ministry during their appearance on March 10 edition of Working For You.
Meaningful and targeted social interventions that will be put in place to address the at-risk youth. Right? So in future we don't have the problem that we have now. You build throughout your communities people who are more law-abiding and positive thinking and contributors to society.
Osmond Petty, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, said that it is important to introduce the youth to social activities from a very tender age. Junior Minister in the Ministry of Health in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, commended the Team Unity Government of St. Kitts and Nevis for its role in the development of women.
I would like to place on record my profound thanks to you for giving me an opportunity to share your stage. I applaud your efforts in having an inclusive approach as it pertains to the development of women.
She continued to thank the Prime Minister Harris for placing women at the epicenter of decision-making. Liliane Chatterjee, High Commissioner of Canada to St. Kitts and Nevis, presented her letter of introduction to the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, virtually during a brief but significant ceremony on March 10, 2021. Speaking on the negative impact of COVID-19 globally, the High Commissioner said that Canada will stand with St. Kitts and Nevis and CARICOM in fighting the pandemic.
St. Kitts and Nevis and Canada share a history of friendship that is strong and abiding. Our two countries enjoy warm relations based on close people-to-people ties, and we share the distinction of both being colonized by the British and the French. As a community of nations, we must look to build back better, building in more resilience into the international financial system and more justice and equity for small island states. The crisis has exposed the fragility of global value chains and inequity of market access, including access to essential goods like PPE and lately, vaccines. We must tackle these challenges as friends, partners, and neighbors.
Her Excellency Chatterjee added that Canada and St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to work together in other areas to strengthen relationships. And this concludes this week's edition of SKNS Week in Review. See you next week.